guys, welcome to our math lesson for today. Let's get started by reading our learning target. Remember, our learning target is what focuses our learning. I can add within 1,000 using place value models or drawings. Let's look at the word add. Add means to bring two or more numbers together to find a result or a new total. When we're adding, we use the plus sign. We've also talked about within 1,000. Remember, those are all of the numbers that are less than 1,000, like 6, 600, 68. Okay, all those numbers that are within 1,000, 1-digit, 2-digit, and 3-digit numbers. Okay, now let's talk about place value. Place value is the value that's assigned to a digit in a number based on its position. So in the number 326, this digit here, the 2, is in the tens position, and it has the value of 20, okay? Now, you got to play around with the base 10 virtual models yesterday, and so we will continue working with those models. And we've also done some drawing or some sketches on how we can see these models just in drawings. So today we're going to be in our Ready Math Journals, Volume 2, on page 395. 395, okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and start with our first problem on page 395. I want you to read that problem. All right, this time we're going to read it. And I want you to think, what is this problem about? Be able to retell it in your own words. Ready? Read. There are 254 adults and 328 children helping to clean up their city. How many people are helping to clean up the city? I want you to retell this in your own words. So pause the video and retell this problem. All right, did you retell it? Tell me what happened. There are some adults and there are some children that are helping to clean up a city, okay? Now we're going to go back and reread to see what it is that we need to solve. There are 254 adults and 328 children helping to clean up their city. How many people are helping to clean up the city? What are we trying to solve here? We want to answer the question, how many people are cleaning up the city? Now let's go back and reread and see what information they give us to help us answer the question, how many people are helping to clean up the city, okay? Ready, read. There are 254 adults and 328 children helping to clean up their city. How many people are helping to clean up the city? What information is important to helping us answer the question? It's important to know how many adults there are, and it's important to know how many children there are, right? We're trying to find that missing part of how many people there are. So are we trying to find the parts or the whole here? We're trying to find the whole. They gave us the two parts, but we need to find the whole total number. All right, guys, so you can use the virtual base 10 blocks. You may draw a picture. You may use a number line or some other strategy that will help you solve how many people there are helping to clean up the city. When you have finished solving that problem, you may unpause the video and let us check. All right, so how many people are there helping to clean up the city? How many is it, guys? 582. So let's look at a couple of different ways that you might have solved this. But before we start, there was a question back on page 392 that I want us to look at. On page number 392, question 3 was the reflect question. And the question asked, do you always have to add hundreds, then tens, then ones? Why or why not? as we're going through these models, we're going to reflect back on that question and be able to answer it, okay? All right, so now let's go ahead, and what this person, or one way that you could have solved this was by drawing a picture. So you have to know the value of the digits in the numbers. So in 254, how many hundreds are there? There are 2 hundreds. How many tens are there? 5. And how many ones? 4. In 328, how many hundreds are there? 3. How many tens are there? 2. How many ones are there? 8. So then when we combine those together, combine the hundreds, combine the tens, combine the ones, we have 5 hundreds, 7 tens, and 12 ones. If we combined these in a different way, would we still get 5 hundreds, 7 tens, and 12 ones? All right, so let's start, instead of starting at the hundreds, let's start at the ones. If we combine our ones, there are 8 ones here, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are still 12 ones. Now let's combine our tens, 5, 6, 7 tens, and then let's combine our hundreds. 2 tens plus 3 tens is, 2 hundreds plus 3 hundreds is still 5 hundreds. So does the order that we add our places in matter? No, as long as we add our ones to our ones, our tens to our tens, and our hundreds to our hundreds, and then combine them, we could start with the hundreds or we could start with the ones, okay? It doesn't matter. Now here, if you notice, we have 12 ones. What do we know about the number 12? We know that the number 12 is a 2-digit number, right? How many ones does it take to make a group of 10? It takes 10 ones, doesn't it? This is called regroup. Regroup means to trade amounts of equal value. So here there are 10 tens that you could regroup to make one group of 100. Or you could do the opposite. You could take one group of 100 and regroup it as 10 tens. The same as we could do here with our ones. So we can group together 10 ones to make a group of 10. So here we have 8. We need to add 2 more to equal another group of 10. So we could also look at this as 5 hundreds plus 8 tens plus 2 ones. We would still get the total of 582 either way that we did it. We could also model it not only with base 10 blocks, we could also model it on a number line. Remember when we practiced adding hundreds or adding tens to a number? Well, we could add multiple hundreds to a number. So we're starting at 254. We're going to add 3 hundreds to that, okay? So 554 add 3 hundreds is 554. Then we can add our tens. 2 tens, 554 plus 20 is 574. 574 plus 8 ones is 582. Let me reread that. That wasn't very neat. 582. All right, or we can model it another way. We could expand out our numbers into expanded form. 200 plus 50 plus 4, 300 plus 20 plus 8, and then we could add our hundreds. 200 plus 300 is 500, 500 plus 20 is 70, 4 plus 8 is 12, and then we could combine that together, and we know that we have 582, okay? All right, so now let's go ahead and let's answer some questions about the models and the pictures that we have here, okay? All right, number 1 says, look at the picture. How do you write 12 ones as tens and ones? So that's where Ms. Gaskins was talking about that regrouping, remember? So when we look at 12, how many tens are in the number 12? Yes, one group of 10. And how many ones? 2 ones. So remember, we can regroup that 10 ones as a group of 10. Look at the second modelet. What is the total number of 10s in 70 plus 12? So we're looking here. We have, the second one. 70 plus 12. Remember, that's the sum of our 10s and our 1s. So what is the total number of 10s in 70 plus 12? I want you to pause the video and talk with someone around you about that question. All right, so if we think about 12 and we expand that out into 10 plus 12, then we can combine 70 with that 10, right? 70 plus 10 is 80. So there are 8 10s. Okay? So in 70 plus 12, there's a total of 8 10s. And we have to make sure that we add those ones back, right? Those 2 ones. All right, question number 3 says, how many people are helping to clean the city? So how many people are there helping to clean the city? We know that there are 582. 582 cows? 582 pieces of candy? We got to answer that question, right? How many people are helping to clean up the city? 582 people. It says show how to find the sum. That is what you did on the try it or what you've learned through the pictures and the modelets, okay? So if you want to try a new way there on your own, I encourage you to do that, okay? Now we need to reflect. It says, which models or strategies do you like best for adding 3-digit numbers? So think about the models that you've seen. Think about the pictures that you've seen. Which one would you rather use and why, okay? Everybody's going to have a different opinion on that, and that's okay. All right, now let's go ahead and let's look over at page number, 398. 398. Okay? Let's look at question number 5. It says, find the sum, show your work. Now, I want us to stop and talk for just a minute. Here you have your numbers. It's called stacked. They're on top of each other, right? This is the way that I learned how to do addition, and your parents probably learned how to do addition. But you know, when we know better, we do better. And so it's important for us to understand the reason why things happen. So equations can be written like this. They can also be written horizontal, like this. But they're still asking us to do the same thing. They're asking us to add, and they're asking us to find the total. So these 2 numbers added together should be the same as our missing part, okay? Just like over here, these 2 numbers added together should be the same as the missing part. Now, there's a way that we can do this that it helps us to see the place values. And that would be what we did back on that second model, okay? So what I want us to do is we're going to solve this problem a couple different ways, okay? So the first way that we are going to solve it is we are going to solve it using base 10 blocks, okay? So I'm going to build the first number, 526. How many hundreds are there in 526? 5 hundreds. Okay. How many tens are there in 526? There are 2 tens. All right. And then how many ones are there? 6 ones. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if you know, but I'm clicking this button right here, and it organizes them for me so I don't have to take my time rearranging those, okay? So here I have the number 526 built. Now I need to add to it. Remember, add is finding a result. It's larger, putting those numbers together to find a larger total. So now I'm putting together 235. So I'm going to add 2 hundreds. I'm going to add 3 tens. And I'm going to add 5 ones. All right, it even sorted those for me, right? My hundreds, my tens, and my ones. So now that I have 526 made and 235 made, I can combine my hundreds, combine my tens, and combine my ones. So how many total hundreds do I have here? I have 7 hundreds. How many tens do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups of 10. And then how many ones do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ones. So when I combine these two numbers, I end up with 7 hundreds, 5 tens, and 11 ones. Now let's talk about these 11 ones. This goes back to that problem before, and we can expand out that 11, right? We can expand 11 out into 1 10 and 1 1. So we can kind of cross that out and then add together 7 hundreds plus 5 tens plus 1 10 plus 1 1 to have 7 hundreds plus 6 tens plus 1 1, which would be a total of how much? 761. Yes. Now I want to see if we do it a different way, if we get the same total, okay? So now I want us to look back. All right, look back at number 5. We said that it was 761. All right, let's check and see if we get 761 again. All right, let's start and let's expand out that 526. What's the value of 500? 500. What's the value of 2 tens? 20. What's the value of 6 ones? 6. All right, what's the value of 2 hundreds? 200. What's the value of 3 tens? 30. What's the value of 5 ones? 5. Now we can add that together. 500 plus 200 is 700. 20 plus 30 is 50. 6 plus 5. Ooh, that's a doubles plus 1. 5 plus 5 is 10. Plus 1 more is 11. All right, remember we can break down that 11. We can regroup it. Regroup 11 ones into one group of 10 and 1 1. So if we did that, we would have 700 plus 60 plus 1, which would equal 761. Okay? All right, now I want you to do number 6. Go ahead, you do number 6. When you're done, you may unpause the video to check your work. Number 6. All right, welcome back. So if you have not completed number 6, make sure you pause the video and complete it. All right, this time I'm going to use a drawing. So I have 167. How many hundreds do I have in 167? I have 100. How many tens do I have in 167? 6 tens. And then how many ones do I have in 167? I have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now I need to add 426. How many hundreds are in 426? 4 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many tens? 2. And how many ones? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so now that I have correctly built 167 and 426, now I can go back and add them together, combine them. I'm going to start with my hundreds, but do we always have to start with our hundreds? You could combine your ones first, your tens first, or your hundreds first. So let's combine hundreds. I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So I have 500s. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens. And then I have here a group of 10, and then I'm going to count on 11, 12, 13 plus 13 ones. Remember when we look at this number 13 here? Oh, that kind of looks like 130, doesn't it? I'm going to make that a lowercase 0 to represent, I'll just write ones, okay? So remember when I have 13 ones, that can be regrouped. Remember, that can be regrouped into 1 10 and 3 ones. So then I can say I have 500s plus 9 tens plus 3 ones for a total of 593. Did you get 593 for number 6? If you did, kiss your brains. Great job. All right, guys, now you're going to complete number 7. Go ahead and complete number 7. It says Juanita's family is on vacation. They drive 258 miles one day and 209 miles on the next day, which shows one way to find how many miles they drive on both days. Okay? So I want you to pause the video and go ahead and solve number 7. When you're done, you may unpause the video to check. All right, so the question wants to know which shows one way to find how many miles they drive both days. So if we want to know both days, we need to combine the total of day 1 and day 2. So 258 plus 209. So we know it's going to be larger than either one of these numbers. So 200 plus 50 plus 9, is that going to be much larger than 258 or 209 combined together? It's only adding the hundreds, the 58 and the 9. It's forgetting to add that second 100. So that one is not enough. Okay? B, 200 plus 200 plus 8 plus 9. They're forgetting to add something here. What are they forgetting to add in B? The 5 tens here. So that's not enough. 400 plus 5 plus 8 plus 9. They just used that digit 5 instead of the value, didn't they? So that would not be enough. 500 plus 50 plus 17. Yes, that would be one way to solve how many miles they had because they combined 8 and 9 are ones. And 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17. That's using those near double facts to help us quickly add mentally, okay? So D is the correct answer for number 7. All right, guys, let's reflect back on our learning target. I can add within 1,000 using place value models or drawings. I know that this is new, and we're not used to looking at the hundreds and adding those, but I know that you can do this, okay? Just make sure that if you need to draw that picture or use that online base 10 model, do that, okay? Seeing these numbers is really going to help you to be able to combine those, and especially when you need to see the regrouping.